A UTXO-based is how crypto was developed. Bitcoin is a UTXO-based chain. And when you have a UTXO-based chain, you're just taking inputs and outputs and matching them up. It's very cash-like. You're spending something. When you have account-based, it's all state. It's, okay, like what assets are in this account at this point in time. And the main difference is scalability. If something is account-based, the complexity you're dealing with is going up, not just linearly with every additional transaction, but often exponentially. Like every time you change the state of the network, you're changing the state of potentially everybody's account and everything else that's going to happen. Whereas on Bitcoin or on eCash, every transaction is just changing inputs and outputs. So if you're sending to 1,000 users, sending to 1,001 users, 1,002, it's just another thing. Whereas account-based, no, it's this like crazy complex arms race. You have everything happening at the same time. Everything affects everything else. Main difference, for example, like if you wanted to send yield to everybody who owned an Ethereum token, you have to use a smart contract to do that. It's quite complicated. If you've seen some of these yield products on Ethereum or Solana, you have to basically exchange your token for another token that has a dynamic exchange rate. And then if you want your yield, you have to exchange it back for the other token at that exchange rate. And the account-based people say, well, yeah, it's all handled by smart contracts, so that's fine. Like you can trust it, it's automated. But again, in reality, like every time you're going from token to token, there's a risk involved. Every time you have a smart contract, there's a risk involved. You're not totally sure what's going on. Whereas if you wanted to say distribute yield on a stablecoin on eCash or on a UTXO chain, that scales linearly. So you basically have a cost per user to distribute that, and it's something like 0.00001 cents. And if you have 10 users or 1 million users, it doesn't matter, right? If each user earned at least that much yield, then you can just pay them. You don't have to have a smart contract. You don't have to have this complex stuff. You don't have to make sure everybody has $10,000 they can like handle all of these fees. You can do that with the UTXO model. Now you can't do that, unfortunately, with say BTC on the UTXO model, because even though it does scale linearly, your cost for sending per user could be quite high for something like a daily yield transaction, right? Between say, I don't know, 10 cents and $30, depending on how congested the network is. And in that case, it doesn't make any sense, right? You would never do it. So the UTXO model, I think, inherently scales better just because it scales linearly. And there's less complexity. You don't have to deal with this exponentially growing complexity like you do on state-based chains and account-based models.